Hi. Is it recording? It's recording.
It's recording.
Hi guys, happy Sunday. Welcome to our bedroom. We are chilling here, laying out. I am making this video because we have some amazing news that we can't wait to share.
No one knows.
Nobody knows. So we're just gonna be vlogging. This is gonna be a whole new series on its own.
Yep.
Like I told Sam, I'm gonna call it the diary. Wink wink. And we'll get more into that in the next portion of the video, but for now, welcome back to another episode of Life with Steph, and I can't wait to tell you.
Even Cecil can't wait to tell you.
Yeah, she's all up in it. So, in my previous videos, you've seen us doing meal preps, you've seen, I mean, if you've been watching my page from the moment I started my YouTube to now, you've noticed we both have lost a lot of weight.
Yes.
And the reason for that is because we are doing IVF.
Yes, we are.
We've been doing IVF for 2 years now. And what I mean by that is on and off.
Yeah, like process, basically.
Yeah, it's been a process. We first started IVF September 2nd of 2023. 2022. Yes. And we went to our first appointment. We chose a clinic called Conceptions, Florida, here in Miami. It's located in Coral Gables and Merrick Park
specifically.
And so we went, we had our first consultation, everything went great. The doctor there didn't really ask for us to lose weight. We just kind of went over like our history and current medications and things like that.
And we knew we had to.
Regardless, yes, at some point. And so I took all that information and I went back to my primary doctor. Now my primary doctor told me to wait an entire year before I started IVF, because he wanted me to lose the weight, considering my medical history, considering that I've never been a diabetic, thank God, but history of diabetic in my family. And my A1C was never at risk, but close. And so he put me on a lot of preventative care. By that I mean he prescribed me Ozempic. And before the Ozempic, I was already taking metformin to regulate my periods because I was having irregular periods. I was told I had PCOS, but never fully diagnosed. That was strange. But either way, the metformin did really help regulate my periods. So even if you're going through IVF or not, and you have irregular periods, I would recommend talking to your doctor. It might be a good option for you. And I was also drinking Farxiga for diabetes. So I was taking all those medications on top of a bunch of supplements, vitamin D. Hello.
Excuse me.
So rude. Sorry. On top of a lot of supplements like vitamin D. My vitamin D was really low. Vitamin B12. And multivitamins. So that's what I was on. Sam.
I was just on Farxiga and metformin, and he told me to change my diet basically and to exercise more. And that's when we started to exercise a lot more, better choices with our diet. And her that she started taking the Ozempic helped
a lot.
But
I'll be honest, not everybody knows that I was on Ozempic. Very limited people knew that I was on Ozempic. I never mentioned that on any social media platform. I never bragged about being on Ozempic.
Yeah, because the main reason that she was on Ozempic was because we wanted to
have a baby,
basically.
Yeah. And I cried when he told me to be on Ozempic.
She sure did.
Like, legit, I cried.
She did.
In my break room at work.
She did. She cried.
And I was like, why do I need to inject myself? At the beginning, like, now everybody knows what Ozempic is and everybody knows what all these weight loss injections are. But at that time, I had no idea what Ozempic was, what Trulicity was any of that. I had no clue. All I thought to myself was, how did I allow myself to get here? And what I mean by that is being so overweight, being so unhealthy, to where now I need to inject myself. Because I've been on a diet my whole life, on and off, and I've never, I don't want to say I've never succeeded, but it was never like a consistent thing. So I was on, off, gaining, losing. And he himself told me, like, before you inject yourself, like, mentally prepare yourself, because if this is a path you guys want to take, you need to be serious. Yeah, consistent and serious. So yeah, I cried. I was super scared. I'm like, I don't want to be on this forever. And if I'm gonna do this, I really need to change my diet and make it a lifestyle, because it's not something I want to be doing the rest of my life. So we started October.
Like late October, going into November.
So it took me about a month to mentally prepare. I started in October, and I went up. The highest dose I went up to was 1.25, which there are higher doses, but I remained at the 1.25 for months. And I did find myself at a plateau, but I kept going. And I didn't just do the injection, you guys. Like, a lot of people think that, I can inject myself and, like, I'm gonna lose all this weight and depend on the injection. Like, no, you have to put in the work. You have to work out. You have to change your diet. The injection is just helping you, because at some point your body adjusts. It's like any other medication. And I didn't want to keep increasing the dose because I didn't want to continue to be on the injections. I'm grateful because it allowed me to get to where I am now. But I had to work really hard. Like, don't think that because I was on an injection, like, I just sat back. Like, no, we worked.
Went to the gym.
Okay, 5 in the morning, 6 in the afternoon. We were working, and we put in the work. And I don't regret it, because now I'm healthier and more than capable to carry a child, which was our goal all along. So that's a little bit of the background on the losing weight part, and why we put a stop to the IVF journey in our first consultation, because my doctor said to wait for a year. So that's what we did. We waited a little bit more than a year.
About a year and a half.
About a year and a half, yes. I stopped the injections October. Oh my God. March, ending of March of 2024. So I was on it for about a year and a half. So as we were saying, Sam now is going to explain a little bit. We're going to go backwards a little bit. So I mentioned I stopped the Ozempic and the Farxiga, and I'll explain why, ending of March of this year, 2024. So we're going to rewind a little bit before that happened. Sam's going to go ahead and talk a little bit about the in-betweens.
So between that year and a half, we decided that, if it takes us longer than the year, what our primary told us to, then we were like, we'll get there when we get there. And we decided, like, listen, like, we're young, we just got married, like, let's travel for a little bit. We wanted to travel. We went to New York 2 times, one for our honeymoon and one because we wanted to go back. And then we went on a cruise for our anniversary, and then we just recently came off another cruise. And we wanted to just continue to travel, because when we were younger, when I was going through school, she was the only one working, so we were like, we at least deserve some type of leisure and some type of vacation for ourselves and to, you know, travel together. We love always traveling together, me and her.
Yes, traveling is fun.
It is fun. And, you know, that was our mindset. She was a little upset about it because she really wanted to start, and I did too, but in reality, she kind of understood that we have to wait throughout this whole process, and while we're waiting through this whole process, we could at least be enjoying ourselves at the same time.
Yeah.
And then towards the ending of 2023, going into the beginning of 2024, a lot happened in my family. Unfortunately, I lost 3 of my loved ones, and it was a hard period, you know, for both of us. And
yeah, and we did have a plan to a trip, since we said we were gonna wait out on starting the IVF again.
We wanted to do one big trip
before we started, and we chose Tokyo.
We did. And you know, that was the plan, going to Tokyo for like at least 2 weeks to enjoy ourselves. But like I said, when all that happened, it was very emotional time. It was very hard. They were literally back to back.
Yeah.
One was in a month between each other, and another one was in like a couple of months after that. So it was a lot.
It was a lot
in such a short period of time. And the last one, I got into a really dark place. I really did. And I thought to myself, I'm like, I can't keep living like this. This is something that, you know, going forward, I want to have a family with her. I want to continue our lives, like being able to have a family. And I decided, I was like, listen, I don't think we could really do this big trip before like we go back. I really feel like life is too short. Within these last couple of months, I've noticed that, like, and all we have is each other, and I don't want to wait anymore, because waiting is time, like, lost, basically, and I didn't want that anymore. And she kind of got upset again because I was like, she's like, I finally wrapped my head around traveling and going forward before we started IVF, and she said, regardless, I want to have a family with you, so let's do it, basically.
Yeah, it was definitely an emotional roller coaster, and this is us being like super vulnerable on camera right now, and like giving it all to you raw. I remember Sam saying, I think we should, hold off on Tokyo. We should, start a family because of everything that had been going on. And of course, like, I want nothing more than to have a family. That's something we've always talked about, even when we got together. Kids has always been a topic. And I had just wrapped my head around traveling. I accepted the fact that we weren't gonna try again anytime soon until after our big trip, and I got super into like going to Tokyo. I mean, YouTube videos, what we need to buy, saving our money, I mean, vision board, the whole thing. But I understood where Sam was coming from, and so although I got really sad and I was upset that we weren't gonna go to Tokyo, I was also very happy that we were going to start this process again. So it was just an emotion, a roller coaster of emotions. And I was happy nonetheless. I still get sad from time to time when I think about it, because I'm like, damn, Tokyo. But Tokyo's not going nowhere.
It's not.
And that's somewhere we can go in the future, somewhere we can take our future kids, and it'll be amazing. So that's when we started looking back into fertility treatment at the beginning of this year. I would say March.
Mm-hmm.
So March came along, went back to conceptions. Mm-hmm. I had to make an appointment on the first day of my period. I had to do lab work, a whole bunch of stuff, and we went back and forth with conceptions for a little bit. Like I said, we did our consultation again. The doctor saw us. She saw how much weight we lost. She's like, you guys look amazing. This is great. Then we were,
having to do different
ultrasounds. I had to do an ultrasound. I had to do blood work and HSG, genetic testing. Conceptions kind of made us go through all of that. And we're gonna get into prices and all that in a separate video. And exactly step by step on like what we first did, what, you know, in order of all the exams that they gave us. This is just more to like overview a little bit of the background of the IVF journey for us. And then we didn't like conceptions.
Nope. When we were already about to be set and ready to go, they didn't give us fully the amount until like they saw the very end, like basically the very end, like when we were like, okay, like yeah, you're ready to like start treatment, medication and everything, let me give you everything. We saw the paper and
yeah,
we looked at each other and was like, we can't afford this.
Anxiety.
We really can't afford this, in a sense where it's like, this is just the procedure itself, and this is not including the medication, and the medication alone, going through them was very expensive as well too, and not including our sperm donor.
Yeah.
So that really put me in a panic.
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
what now?
What are we gonna do?
What are we gonna do? How are we gonna do this? And we had already put in a lot of money up until that point. I had to meet my deductible, which was $1,000. So you already know,
alone, doing everything,
throwing down. We were throwing down. Yeah. But you know, that's what was needed to be done to get
did it.
To, you know, to get what we want. And right before our cruise, she said, "Enjoy your cruise. You can drink. You can do whatever." And that for us was like our last hurrah. And boy, did we drink. But it was really sad to see the prices. And I mean, don't get me wrong, realistically, we knew that it was expensive. We knew that it wasn't going to be cheap. But we just didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, and just for the one try, I felt that it was just
overwhelmingly expensive.
Yeah.
Again, not including medications, not including sperm donor. So it was a lot, you guys.
And when I freaked out, I was like, we did all this, like, I want to go forward to continue to do this because we wanted to have a family, we wanted to have a baby, and it's like, now what?
Yeah.
And on top of that, we already had some issues with the clinic, not with the doctor. We loved the doctor, but just the clinic alone, we didn't like the experiences sometimes when we went in that we were having. And so I was like, we have to come up with another solution. We have to figure out what we're going to do. What's option B? Because this can't be just our only option. Like,
right.
There has to be something else that we could do that, you know, maybe it's not with them, maybe it's with somebody else, but we have to do our research for it.
Yeah.
And I sat down and I spoke to her about it. And I'm like, that was another tough, like, conversation with her as well too, because she got a little upset because she's like, well, what are we going to do? We're going to start from square one. And I'm like, I don't think we're going to have to start from square one, because of the simple fact that we have all these tests needing to be done. We did our genetics. We did a whole bunch of things that we already like basically lined up. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that we had to start all over again, but we had to find something fast before whatever we didn't expire, and we have to redo it all over again.
Yeah, because that's, I mean, your labs and what else?
It was labs, it was your ultrasounds.
There's a bunch of stuff that expire after a couple months, mm-hmm. And your insurance, right? So, so then, where was I?
About expiring.
Yes, exams expiring. And not only that, but they also made us do an appointment for we had to see a therapist.
Basically, yeah, a therapist, going through the process of, going forward with the sperm donor and having to understand, like, going forward when you have this child, how to communicate with them, and mm-hmm. Knowing that one of them is not going to be a biological parent, and how are you going to cope with that, right. After the fact, and how the child is going to cope after the fact.
Yeah.
that was expensive as well too. That is not covered by insurance.
Super expensive.
Don't get me wrong. I was highly skeptical about it, and then once I was done, the therapist was a great therapist.
She was amazing.
She was awesome, and
very informative.
Very informative. We had a great conversation with her. We spoke with her for about almost a good 2 hours.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a just quick like, hey, talking to you, all right, we're done. No, it was like in-depth conversation. And after the fact, I felt like we learned a lot from that conversation, so I was okay after the fact, but still it wasn't covered by insurance, and it was a very pretty penny as well too. So you know, you have to take into consideration like
all the things in between
as well too.
Yeah. So then I found another clinic, and we had the appointment with the clinic literally right before we got on the cruise ship, July 19th. With a clinic called CNY Fertility. Now CNY Fertility is located in New York City, but they do have facilities in different areas. They have one in Georgia, they have one in Sarasota, which is the clinic that Sam and I will be going to for egg retrieval and transfer, since we do local monitoring. They have clinics in Colorado, LA.
Yeah, they have different locations. I think they have about a good 7 facilities or 6 facilities.
Yeah, which is nice. So they do take on travel patients. You do everything over the phone with them. Your visits over the phone with them if need be,
until your final egg retrieval and all that.
Yeah. So this clinic offered way more affordable treatments. Everything is either by a package or a la carte, depending on what your doctor recommends. So far, I have nothing negative to say about this clinic. Sometimes when we call, we're on hold for an hour, half an hour, but
every single person that we get when we get on the phone is very
helpful.
Very helpful.
Yeah.
They'll sit with us, ask us if we have any other questions. Like we've been on the phone with a nurse for like a good 15 minutes, basically.
Yeah. So that's just a little bit of our background, you know, from the losing weight to going into our first consultation with our first clinic, Conceptions, to now working with CNY Fertility. And I found CNY through research, you know, online. I was trying to find clinics, something that another option. We needed another option, and this allowed us the chance to proceed.
Correct. And something that was affordable for us, that would, if
ideal, you know?
Yeah, like God forbid, if the first round didn't go, that we could afford the second round. Like the other clinic, if we did not get the first round, I don't think we would have been able to do a second round at all whatsoever.
So that pretty much is going to sum up this video. I just wanted to tell you guys that we were doing IVF, and we're getting very, very close to egg retrieval day.
Super close.
Sam starts injections tomorrow, Monday, September 30th.
Start my stems.
And I go for my baseline monitoring tomorrow, so labs and ultrasound. Like I said in the next video, I will give you guys a timeline of what procedure was done, how much I spent. I will get all that ready for you guys, and I will also tell you how much our package for the CNY clinic cost, to give you guys some more information.
And we'll also go into depth the specific type of IVF that we're going to be doing, and the process that I have to do versus what she has to do.
Yes.
And
we'll be vlogging this whole journey. This is the IVF diaries. Every day from this moment on, I will be vlogging us doing the injections, how we're feeling, symptoms, all that stuff. So stay along for the ride. Love you guys, and thank you so much.
Bye.